one of our customers over in Cannock. You might have spotted them before on our Instagram if you follow us on there. They repair rather nice cars like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and things like that. They tend to make rather a good customer to visit when you want to get some snaps for the gram. What I was doing out there today, speccing them out and installing their Wi-Fi. We'd got our cabling maestro out there today, Matt, and he's running cables between two of the body shops that the vehicle centre's got. They've got one body shop that repairs your classic steel bodied vehicles, and you've got another body shop that repairs the different style of body, which is alloy and carbon fibre. That's the different materials, and you don't want to mix those two up in a working environment, so they've got separate body shops for those. We'd specified this all out, worked out where the access points were going to go, and we're going to put that in place. And primarily what that's there for is, not only is it good access for all of the employees on their phones and their laptops to have good solid Wi-Fi connection, but actually working in the repair of vehicles now, being able to connect the vehicle to the internet is really, really important. If you take a Tesla, for example, you can't service and maintain and repair a Tesla without Tesla actually dialing into the vehicle afterwards to check that it's correctly being done. So you've got to have a vehicle that's connected directly to the internet. Tesla require that as part of their maintenance program, and for you to be an authorized repairer of Tesla vehicles, you need to be able to provide that service. This was really important to our client. They'd got some Wi-Fi, but it was typically what we find in businesses. It was a bit of a bodged job, really. And I want to explain why you find these things in businesses and what it actually takes to do it correctly. What I mean by a bit of a bodged job was they got some Wi-Fi, and it was one of those firewall devices, which is a device that connects your business to the internet. You might have heard of that expression. It's a bit like your broadband router at home. Well, it had got Wi-Fi built into it, which is like what you get at home, and that works okay for putting Wi-Fi to your lounge and your kids' room and things like that. But even you will probably know at home sometimes that the broadband signal, the Wi-Fi signal, doesn't reach far enough around your house, and you might get an extender, and there's lots of different things that do that at home. But you put something else in to extend the signal throughout your house. Well, when you have a device in your business and it's got that built into it, that's why the Wi-Fi that you get off these things sometimes isn't good enough for what you need in your business, because what you've asked the device to do is two things at once. You've asked it to do this firewall security job, and you've asked it to do the Wi-Fi all at the same time, bunched in a box. Manufacturers sell these things because people like to have everything in one. People think there's value, great value in having everything in one, and I get everything at the same time. Cost effective wise, that has an appeal to people. And when you don't necessarily work in IT all the time, and you're not able to understand what some of the repercussions are of having things in that way, you might think the best value comes from having it in one box. If you cast your mind back to the 90s, if you can do that, remember a time when you used to get television with a VCR, a video cassette recorder embedded into it, and then they did it with DVD players, TV with a DVD player embedded into it. They were all right. They worked okay. If you were a purist who really wanted the best audio and visual experience, you didn't buy an all-in-one combination. You bought a separate television set and a separate DVD. This is very much how it works in IT tech as well. If you're buying a bundled device, you're not going to get the best of all qualities. It might work in a small environment, in a small office for a few people. This is a business that's got 16 employees who work on computers and another 50 plus employees who work in the body shop. It was too big an environment for this kind of solution, and that's what the experience was being found. I was getting reports back that cars weren't connecting properly, Tesla couldn't get the information, they were struggling to download and upload data from the cars, and it was wasting time. And in the body shop industry, time is literally money. That's what everything's job costed on. The parts are parts. There's no real margin to be made in those. The margin is made in skilled labour repairing the vehicle to the manufacturer's standard in the shortest period of time. That's how that business operates, and that's where its efficiency is to be found. And any time that's wasted, such as time trying to reconnect the car to the Wi-Fi, is money going down the drain, because they want to get that car fixed for the customer, cleaned, put on the front of the showroom, polished and shining and looking beautiful like the day it came out the factory. That's what the customer comes back to see. That's what brings them again and again back to use that body shop to have their vehicle repaired if it needs to have the work done. And it does tend to be that people who drive Ferraris and Lamborghinis do accidentally let them get tail happy, spin them out and crash them, and they get damaged. There seems to be no shortage of people in fast cars who damage them. So time is money to them. What James and I did was replace that Wi-Fi throughout the building. We've put Wi-Fi into the main body shop and Wi-Fi into the alloy and carbon fibre mixed body shop, and we've connected it all together so that they have got a connection point for the company to connect the cars to, and they have a connection point for guests who are coming there. So visitors and people with their own phones who are there to see the site, they can connect to that Wi-Fi. And there's things you can do with a dedicated Wi-Fi system that you're not able to do with some of the older Wi-Fi systems. And one of the things that we do for this business is we shut it off at night. When the body shop is no longer open, it doesn't need to have the Wi-Fi accessible to them or to the general public. So we close it off at the opening hours, start of the morning, end of the day. That's when it runs through. That's an extra level of security. It's a cloud controlled system by Unifi. And it means that we can give them an extra level of security by not having the Wi-Fi open at night while it's on. But we don't have to do anything silly like use timer devices on plug sockets or anything like that. It's cloud controlled and we can get it to do that. We can also schedule the upgrades to the access points because they have firmware upgrades. And what that means is the manufacturer recognises there's improvements that they can add to their equipment, or there are security issues that have been detected that they want to fix. We can schedule the software to automatically update those out of hours as well, and then shut down the Wi-Fi afterwards. So the device is still online, but it's not broadcasting the Wi-Fi signal during non-business hours. The same when it comes to wanting to offer what's like a hotspot. We're going to put one of these systems into a place called the Moseley Exchange in Birmingham, which is a co-working area, and they want to be able to provide one Wi-Fi for the employees and one Wi-Fi for the co-workers. That's people who come in and sit down and use the desk space to work. And one of the things that you want to have in that environment is somebody brings a laptop in and that laptop's got a virus on it. You don't want that then to be able to see the rest of the devices on the network and spread throughout the network and cause mayhem. What you can configure these devices to do is to isolate each client that connects to the Wi-Fi so it operates in its own little world, and all it can do is get to the internet, but it can't see any of the other devices that are on the Wi-Fi network. That means if someone brings in a laptop and it has got a virus on it and they connect it to the Wi-Fi, it's not then going to run through that network and try and break into other people's computers. It's going to be isolated. These are again things that you don't necessarily find on the more budget end of the market products. The products that come free with your home broadband, the product that you might get free with your broadband provider when you buy the line and that they plug in for you. It will get you connected to the internet, but it has a very limited scope in what it is that you can do with that. And as with all these things in life, you don't know what it is you don't know until you don't know about it. Or in IT, when something goes wrong, that's when you go, why didn't you tell me? Often that can be a challenge in what we do because people don't want to hear about the worst of things in life. They don't want to hear about preventative. They believe it won't happen to them or everything will go their way. And that's a mindset thing which we're very happy with the customers that we work with understand that. That's why they work with Kimberley IT, because they have a mindset that says, how can technology benefit my business? How my business improve, increase productivity, efficiency, and protect my business? Because a sense, someone who's thinking like that is thinking about the worst that might happen, and it can happen. Someone can leave your business, a great employee, you can have a fire, you can get sued, you can have a customer go out of business. Bad things happen in the world, and it's about how you deal with them. Good IT is about preempting some of those things that might happen and asking the questions in advance and putting steps in place to prevent you from having a problem. And one of the questions with the Wi-Fi, how do I stop wasting time getting my cars connected to the Wi-Fi, Kyle? How do I make sure no one can break into the Wi-Fi system, Kyle, when the office is closed? Both of those issues were addressed for Steve, the owner of the business. That gave him the peace of mind and the reassurance that he'd picked the right IT partner and he'd picked the right solution. So I'm really proud of what we're doing with that. I'm really excited about that going in this week, and you'll see some more of that from James and from myself. Today was the first day when I got Matt on site to make sure the cabling's going in where he wants it to. He'll continue that through tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Wednesday to make sure the deployment fully works and test the Wi-Fi and everything is good and ready for sign off with our customer, and we'll have another successful project that's been completed. Thanks for listening today. I'm Kyle at Kimberley. You can check us out at kimberley.com, and you can find me on Instagram at thattechnologyguy. Thanks for listening. Bye.